down now has the ability to bounce back up, and value gets unleashed and then locked as investors see stocks that are relatively cheaper. Welcome to another edition of our PSEI update. This is Marvin Germo, and I'm excited to talk more about what's happening in the markets today. Of course, we've entered the year with a 2-day winning streak, which was better when there was as compared to the closing days of the year, where there was a lot of pessimism, there was a lot of anxiety of how the markets would actually traverse for 2017. But now we're here, we're up, and a lot of people are relatively excited. So here we go. As of today, the PSEI closed at 7,030.95 with 7.4 billion pesos value turnover. This is relatively better compared to the previous days in December, where value turnover was relatively weaker. As a rule of thumb, for those who are just starting, the better the value turnover, the more conviction, the more participation there is in terms of retail and institutional investors. So what we're looking for is we want a market with a lot of participation, a lot of conviction among all of its participants. So this shows that there's more people participating now as compared to the latter part of the year. Another thing that we would like to note also is that we also broke the 7,000 psychological barrier. For a lot of people, the 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 levels are considered psychological barriers for people who would think that if we break that level, it's relatively a more bullish sentiment for them. But let me go on with this update, as I'm not a person who follows psychological levels. I'm more of a trend follower, more of a technician in terms of how I would analyze my stocks. Next is part of this movement is we've seen more foreign buying. We have a net foreign buying of 184 million pesos. As you've all know, this was something very critical, I guess, for a lot of investors last year, as we saw loads of net foreign selling across the board because of movements towards more developed markets, particularly in America. So this is a good sign that the foreign funds are back. Next question there is this: how long will it last? Will it just be because there are some funds bottom fishing? There are some funds trying to buy our markets because they've seen value in it and it's relatively cheap. Before I go on with this update, also I'd like to tell you that nothing much has changed in terms of our economy, in terms of the value that we have in our markets. Whatever you see in the PSEI, whatever you see in the Philippine economy, they're all intact. Our economy is bound to go higher. Nothing much has changed. Whatever you've heard about how amazing the BPO industry is, or if the remittances are, our GDP, they're still all intact. So whatever you're seeing in the PSEA right now is all based on price movement. Value is still there. Value is still going to move up. What just changed is that it became a bit cheaper because of a lot of price sensitive movements that happened since August last year. So let's break it down even further. What happened? The PSEI escaped the 3-month downtrend. If you've been following my vlogs and a lot of the articles and Facebook updates that I would do, I mentioned that the market started to reverse around July and August last year. So what we're just seeing now is part of the midterm downtrend that got broken. We broke that downtrend just today. Because of us breaking it, it takes us out of that midterm downward projection, but we're still bearish over the long term. We have to break other significant levels of resistance, which I'll discuss later on. But this is a relatively good sign for those who want to come in for quick punts. You have to understand the market has also been oversold, and movements like this will bring more confidence back to a lot of bulls in the market. So what am I saying? Over the short to midterm, the downturn is over, but we're not yet out of the woods as of the moment. If you look at a lot of the stocks also across the board, Ayala from 30 bounced back. It's now above 33. SM Prime Holdings is now closing near 30 again after its great move that it did today. So a lot of those are heavyweights in the PSEI, which help push the PSEI even further. Another thing that you can observe from what happened to the PSEI is this. I mentioned a couple of days ago that if the PSEI fails to hold above 6.5, it could possibly drop at 6.2, but there's a support at around 6.5 that if it bounces up from 6.5, it can possibly go back up to the resistance at 6.925, and that's what exactly happened. After hitting 6.5, the support held its ground. Buyers saw it was cheap. They started coming in. Market started to bounce, which is actually good because it prevents us from falling even deeper and further. The next thing that happened is this. After the bounce of 6,500 levels, we now saw the market go and challenge 6,925, which could have been a selling point, which could have been an area for a lot of people to take profits should 6,925 had not been broken. But what's amazing today was this: we broke out of 6,925. Now we're in the midst of the market starting to break out even further. So now over the short term, what should you consider? As what I always tell people, if you've attended our Stock Smart sessions, you can use this as a reference on how you actually make your breakouts possible as well. We're now actually seeing a textbook breakout for the PSEI. However, what I'd like to note also is that the PSEI is also sitting at a short-term resistance at 7,055. So why am I saying this? Should the market drop or it fails to go up today or the next few days, it's possibly because there's a resistance at 7,055. If it fails to break out of 7,055, a possible retracement to the support at 6,925 is actually possible. So I'll repeat this: if it fails to go up and market is down, I could possibly retrace to 6,925. However, if 6,925 does not hold, I'll give you an update on where the market could possibly go. But now, back to the more optimistic side first. Since 6,925 is broken, and as long as 6,925 will hold, we could expect that to be a support. And because of that, if it stays above 6,925, we could see the market break out even further to around 7,148. So you can peg your prices at the resistance at 7,148 as the next stop of the index. If it fails to break out from that, we could possibly expect that the PSEI could possibly retrace back to 6,925. However, if 7,148 the market breaks out of 7,148, the market now has a shot, it has a chance to go up to 7,447, which is the strongest resistance in the market right now. So if you recall, even in 2013, the market hit 7,4, retraced down to 5,8. Until now, we still have a resistance at 7,400 plus levels. But here's the thing: if we break out of 7,447, the market suddenly turns from bearish to bullish. I'll repeat it: if the market breaks out of 7,447, the market doesn't just break out, but it turns from bearish to bullish. We now have more evidence of a reversal. We now have more evidence of more buyers actually having more confidence coming into the market. So what's exciting even gets more exciting, because as what I mentioned before, the movements in the market over the past few days were just rallies, but there were significant resistances protecting the stock or the PSEI from going up as a whole. So this is the optimistic side. 6,925 holds, we see the market go up to 7,148. If it breaks out from 7,148, we could see it go to 7,447. If it breaks out from 7,447, we turn bullish and we have a bigger chance to go to 7,7 and 8,1 later on. However, I want to balance everything out as usual, as what I always do in all of our seminars. It's not always optimistic. You have to balance your trades. It's all about knowing what to do when different scenarios will come your way. So if it's an optimistic scenario, you know what to do. If it's a scenario where things are not so good, you also know what to do. People who have a plan in the market are the ones who will actually make the most out of it. People who follow their plan, people who follow their strategy are the ones who will maximize, make money, not just now but repeatedly over a period of time. Now, to balance things out, if the market fails to stay above 6,925, it can retrace back to 6,775 or to as low as 6,535. What am I saying here? All bets are off if the market still fails to stay above 6,925. So remember, the breakout now is brought about by it breaking out of 6,925. However, this will all be short-lived if the market cannot stay above 6,925 over over the short term. Again, if it does not hold 6925, we could retrace back to 6775 or to as low as 6535. So this is how you manage your trades. This is how you make everything go well, and this is how you actually trade with conviction and confidence. However, what will make you profitable is you build a strategy based on technicals and fundamentals, things that you understand, concepts there that fit you, and use that as your cash cow to make you profitable, not just now, but repeatedly over the long term. And that's how wealth is made in the stock market. It's not just about chasing jackpots, but about you building a strategy that will make you profitable repeatedly over and over for the long period of time. Just before we close, I'd like to invite you to all of our events and seminars. This 2017, we will have technical and fundamental analysis for all of these sessions. With the heart and the goal is to spread the proper way of trading and investing to every Filipino out there, wherever you are in the world. Our goal is to teach you the right way so you get to trade well, trade strong, and trade smart. So Cagayan de Oro will be February 4 to 5. Cebu will be February 17 and 18. Manila, we're starting a 7 module series, 4 sessions on technical analysis, with the main goal of teaching you how to trade and knowing when to come in and out of stocks, and 3 other sessions on fundamental analysis, helping you to select stocks well, compute for the valuations of companies. Will be in Japan and in Davao on March and April respectively. For those who've been emailing and sending messages about events in other cities like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Doha, Singapore, Iloilo, and all of the other regional areas where we would do stock smarts, I'll be posting our schedules for those cities soon, but rest assured we will be having events there this 2017. Again, no Filipino should be left behind in the growth. Everyone should be part of this, and I will do whatever I can so that we see more Filipinos investing and trading the markets. I really want to see more and more Filipinos taking advantage of our ever-growing economy, because I really believe that the best is yet to come. The world will look at the Philippines as a great area where there's a lot of traders and investors with influence around the world. The best traders will be found in the Philippines, and it can be done. And lastly, my books are available. Go to marvingurmo.com if you'd like to deliver them. We deliver to any part of the world. If you'd like to read, for those who like reading more than watching videos or actually attending seminars, these books are for you. I'll be coming up with my technical analysis book also, hopefully in the first half of the year. So thank you so much for joining us for this video. To be updated on all of our videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to learn more and read through blogs, go to marvingurmo.com. So thank you so much for having me. Have a great trading day ahead. God bless you all.